What's going on, guys? This is Kaisha, welcome back. So we are back with another video. So in this video, we're going to cover Battle Nexus 2025 Singapore Edition. So this will be the last event to close the chapter of our January 2025 limit regulation, because we're going to have a new ban list this coming March 3rd week or 4th week, I believe. So this is the final tournament, the final big event that will close the chapter of our January format. And also, I think these tournaments will have a very good predicament on how the Alliance Insight have shaped and formed our metagame. So I do think that this tournament is really huge with 180 participants, and also 8 rounds of Swiss is more than enough to determine which of these players are deserving for this top 16 spot and win the tournament. So looking on the deck list here and the names, I do think that Ryzil, Malice, and Blue Eyes Primate have been dominating the OCG scene for quite some time already, and it reflects on this tournament. And I do believe that even though Primate Blue Eyes is represented here as well, I think Ryzil and Malice are just cut above the rest, especially Ryzil. Just looking on this top 16, no, we have a lot of Ryzil already, and top 1 and 2 are both Ryzil players as well. So it speaks volume on how good Ryzil is in this current metagame, and possibly they are the deck that will be butchered this coming ban list very soon. So moving on towards the deck profiles. So before we continue on our video, shoutouts to the winners of this Battle Nexus 2025 Singapore, and also for the Road of the King administrator Akira. So shoutouts for his massive contribution for our OCG community with his well-detailed and informative contents. So first would be Yong Kian Rui with Ryzil. So this deck profile is a legitimately well-designed and balanced Ryzil deck profile. I do think that playing Charmies over the likes of Droplet have been more successful, far more successful on bigger regions like Japan, South Korea, and China. I do think that modern Ryzil deck lists have been pivoting towards Charmies like Purulia and Fualos on the main deck. But the innovation here would be playing triple Solemn Strike instead of the likes of Talent, no, and Samu Limit on the main deck. I do think that the Solemn Strike heavily contributed towards the success of this pilot, because it empowers the going first capability of Ryzil, ending on the detonator with the setup of Will Spell, no. With Strike, I do think that it's more than enough to close out games quickly, and Solemn Strike being a counter trap really impacts the going first capability of Ryzil, disabling threats towards the board of Ryzil and other cards that cannot be reached by Veiler and Imperm. Those can be really targeted with the Solemn Strike, and I think you can really empower your board presence using the Strike. And moving on the side deck, it is playing triple Evenly Match. I think Evenly Match have fallen off in the popularity in terms of having a going second board breaker. I do think that major regions are inclined on playing Lightning Storm and even Heavy Storm, no. And it's really surprising to me to see Evenly Match here being at 3 and being on the Champions deck list. I do think that the 3 Evenly Match serve as a purpose for answering rogue decks, control decks that may be a challenge moving forward, especially on these big tournaments, no. You really don't know what you're going to face on the earlier rounds at the very least. So yeah, I think it is a well-designed deck list, and I think it is a well-deserved deck profile for a champion. It integrated the recent trends and also added some mixture of his own personality and philosophy on deck building like Strike and Evenly Match. So literally well-read performance from Yong Huan Rui. And next would be Lao Wei Quan Ryzil, another Ryzil, no. But this time, it main deck one copy of Nibiru and Lancea. I do think that those two can be really huge against the Malice matchup. I think those Lancea and Nibiru can be handy as well on the Orcus matchup, which is really popular in Southeast Asian regions, and that's the one of the decks that a lot of people plays, especially if budget players are joining the tournaments. I think they would more likely go with Orcus because the core is cheap from the QCTB 4th Century Trinity box, and also they can play it pure and just slap in so many hand traps and call it a day, no? So I think Nib and Lancea can have so much prowess over that. And on this deck list, it is playing Donner. I think Donner can be your alternate SP Little Knight on this extra deck. I think most Ryzel players overlook the capability of Donner, but it really comes up on tight situations and also on matchups that is control based, control oriented, no? I think Donner will come up very very soon. And on this side deck, it is playing 3 Evil Demons again, no? I think it could be a game changer for Ryzel sideboards. I think a lot of people more will consider the evenly match on their side deck, seeing on these tournament results. Just able to beat those control-oriented builds like Runic, Labyrinth, Ellich, no? And the rising popularity of Regenesis. I think they can be rattled with evenly match really bad. And next would be very interesting here, third place from Chu Yu Kwan, Finsmith, Evil Twin. So I just think that you just need to buy 3 tactical tri deck of Evil Twin and a Finsmith engine, and this is what you come up with those buys. And I think this is a really powerful deck, especially if people are neglecting the capabilities of a control deck like Evil Twin, which snowballs for advantages from drop power and also gaining interruptions from the live twin monsters paired with Finsmith engine that could further enhance the going first prowess of this deck, and being able to play so many hand traps like double Follows and double Droll here with 3 Wailers and 3 Imperm. I think you have a massive tool kit to go second on this Evil Twin Finsmith, making it a very well-rounded mid-range deck. And oh my goodness, it is playing 2 Pankrataps. Oh wow, really crazy. I just think that Pankrataps is not a card to be chosen on a lot of situations, and I really think that if you're playing Pankrataps, you're going to use this card for outing floodgates like Summon Limit, Fragrance, for example, no? And other irritating back row stuff. So I think, yeah, that's the main purpose of Pankrataps. Maybe it could work against playing around Apollousa, which can be at 1-6 or 2-4, no? With attack tie with Pankrataps, and you can beat over that, but it is a really huge investment on your battle phase if you're going to do that. But yeah, it worked for him for using 2 Pankrataps. Next would be Yili, Malice. Finally, first report of Malice. It landed on top 4. And looking on this deck list, it is playing the Gamma and Driver duo. I think these two have been performing quite some numbers in Japanese regions, especially on Japanese environments and provinces. I think the Gamma is seeing some resurgence recently on main deck of even the likes of Ryzel, Blue Eyes Primate, Malice, and Orcus. I think Gamma is just so valuable when you are trying to play around Follows, Maxi, for example, no? Or deliberately baiting out hand traps on your end. So I think it just works so good and very versatile as well, being able to play around so many hand traps and possibly having extra interruption, no, on your opponent's turn. Next would be Calvin Ang, a legendary player. I think the name says it all. Calvin Ang has been a perennial top player for the OCG region for a very long time, and he opted to play Blue Eyes Primate. I think Blue Eyes Primate with double Drill Beam has been the standard for a lot of people recently in Japan, South Korea, and even on the Southeast Asian regions. I think people are pivoting towards 2 copies, but the recent trend in smaller regions in Southeast Asia, they are even playing 3 Drill Beam, no? It just so emphasizes how good the Drill Beam can be. Even going first, going second, doesn't matter. It's just so devastating but I think the perfect ratio, if you're playing more copies of Drill Beam, would be at 2. I think it's just so perfect and fine at that ratio. And also double talent, I think you would prefer talent over the likes of Cold Buy and Cross Out. Here is just so versatile and much more resilient going second. And triple Dominus Purge, I think pretty sensible. Didn't have to play the Falls and Nibiru on the main deck, which a lot of Korean Blue Eyes Primite have been playing for 2 months already. Yeah. And also play the Sephir and Crimson Dragon package, no? It can just bring out so many interruptions and negations on your end. And 6th place would be Wallace. Wallace, I think. With Primate Blue Eyes once again, playing 1 Bell on the main deck, and didn't have to play Summon Limit on the main deck, instead played it on the side deck. I just think that Skill Drain is much more powerful going first, especially you can sit on high attack monsters, and just beat down the opponent with 3k attack stat line of Blue Eyes, and call it a day, no? You don't really need to make it complicated, just play to the strengths of the Blue Eyes and Skill Drain all together. 7th would be Darren Pan, Kilip, Malice. So, playing 3 Droll on the main deck. No Falls once again, no? I think Singaporeans doesn't really fancy playing Falls that much on the main deck. They would just prefer Nib or Droll. I think that's more better on environments where it is very large and unpredictable. I think Droll would come up a lot on those situations. And XYZ Encore, oh my goodness, just to respect the Ryzil matchup, no? Just goes towards the length of playing Encore just to out the Detonator. Next would be Zhang Jinyan, Ryzil, playing one of Small World. I think this is the recent adaptation of most people in Japan. They're just playing one Small World on Ryzil. I just think that 1 is the correct ratio for the Ryzil Small World. I just think that only one Small World could benefit a lot because you don't really want to see this card much often. If you top deck it, it just doesn't make any sense. You just want to draw it and probably assess your hand cards and find your starters, no? So it's not really a huge asset when going second. And yeah, moving on, we do have Chris Lowe, Malice. This time, main deck the Shifter and double Bestial duo. I just think that is so good on Blue Eyes Primite and Orcus matchups. And a lot of decklists here are prepared for the Orcus, and maybe that's the reason why Orcus didn't show up that much, no, in this tournament. But yeah, I think you would also play Malice this way with double Shifter and double Bestial duo. And of course, Salesban. I think Salesban just plays around so many hand traps, plays around Droll, plays around Nibiru, and it can be used as a going second card as well, declaring a Pulusa, for example, no? Detonator, just so valuable and very flexible as well. Next would be Wong, Suikai, Ryzil, with triple droplet this time. I think, even though I favor Charmis and other hand traps, and even Solemn Strike, no, over droplet on Ryzil, I just think that droplet could come up on situations where it is very much needed, especially against White Forest, for example. Mirror match of Ryzil can be dealt with droplet as well, and Malice, of course, being centric on negations. Now, I think droplet could come up on those situations. It just falls short when it comes to other flexible hand traps and powerful going first tools like Talent, no, and Solemn Strike. And yeah, I think it played a bunch of going first cards here on the side deck, playing 2 the Barrier and 1 Summon Limit, with playing as well 3 Solemn Judgment. Really empowers your going first. And next would be Chewy Min, Malice. So this time playing 1 off Signet Mining just to beef up that going first capability and consistency. And triple Solemn Strike as well on the side deck. Didn't have to play the Sanctum, didn't have to play the Judgment and the Fragrance, no. You just went all out on playing interruptions, live interruptions like Solemn Strike. Next would be Sherwin Lee, another household name in the OCG. Playing Ryzel this time, very neat looking decklist of Ryzel, triple Follows, triple Purulya, triple Veiler, triple Imperm, just no nonsense deck building, really effective on these congested tournaments where you just want to draw what is optimal and what is good on most situations and most matchups against the metagame. And yeah, it also played the site package and didn't opt to play Duster. Play the trend of double Lightning Storm in most bigger regions. 13th would be Lin, Yuchen, Malice once again. This time no Bestials, no Druisworm, and Magnamut. Just played Flawless this time, no Droll, no Nibiru. Yeah, I just want to draw too much cards with Flawless and Maxi all together. And yeah, played bunch of one-offs on the side deck. 1 Trust, 1 Duster, 1 Barrier, and 1 Red Reboot. And opted to side the copies of Droll this time. Next would be Tan, Shawnli, would be Ryzel once again, double Small World this time, emphasizing on searchability and accessibility towards your hand traps and innate staples like Lancea, Nibiru na for example, could be bridged into something else. And I just think that it could work, especially if you just really know how to multifacet the usage of this Small World. It's just so good on searching off cards where it matters the most. But for me, I don't really fancy playing Small World too much on Ryzel. That's why I have said earlier that I only wanted 1 copy of Small World for a Ryzel optimal deck list. But yeah, it worked for him, for Tan. And on the side deck, he just played triple Lightning Storm and 1 Duster, just to have measures against back row decks like Regenesis, no? Labyrinth, Runic, Eldritch. 15th would be Tan, Jiaheng, Ryzel once again. Pretty similar, play double Small World and 1 of Talent, just to have extra protection against advantages of your opponent, being able to draw cards when getting hand trap, or taking a sneak peek on the opponent's hand cards, no? Ripping apart those important combo pieces or starters. And I played double Nyalos, Meowls on the side deck, just to respect the Malice matchup. And 16, oh my goodness. This is the Soul Orcus that we have here, but it is a bunch of mixtures of Horus and Finsmith and a little bit of Gem Knights, no? So technically engine deck altogether. 45 card, yeah, 45 card deck. Just played so many extenders here and possibly a bunch of hand traps as well, no? It is even managed to play 2 Flawless, 2 Droplet, and 2 Purulya on the main deck. Not really sure how he have drawn on these occasions, but he has a lot of one card starters now with the Harp, the Imseti, Engraver, the Gem Knight, no? I think it could work. Really interesting 45. I'm really going to test this out moving forward. Isaac Tan. And it is playing the Virus card. Yeah, Virus. Forgot the name of this Virus card on the extra deck. Enlighten me guys, what is the name of this Virus card? I really forgot. I think it's not Deck Devastation Virus. Yeah, I'm really sure it's not it. But yeah, that sums up our top 16 of Battle Nexus 2025 Singapore. So once again, congrats to the winners of this massive event. And shoutouts to our Singaporean friends out there that is watching on our channel. So please continue to support our channel and thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and helpful, please consider subscribing. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep providing this content for you guys.